Welcome to the Grief Bully Podcast. I am your host, J.Nicole. Thank you for joining our weekly discussion around grief, mental health, and your overall personal wellness. The Grief Bully Podcast will serve as a vehicle to help you navigate life's journey. Be sure to subscribe, review, and share the podcast with anyone in your life that you think it will help. Let's bully grief together. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the Grief Bully Podcast. I am your host, J.Nicole. Today is Monday, and we are rocking and rolling in here for another episode. I do have something a little bit different today, but I want you to go back, check out last week's episode. I'm sure it was something that you definitely want to check out. Had a great guest on there. Listen, just definitely go check it out. So check it out on YouTube. Check it out on my channel, my podcast. Go listen. It's there. Check it out. But I want to switch things up today. And so I am by myself. I'm in a solo round. But what I had on my mind and my heart was to just write you guys a letter. And I hope that's okay with you because that's what we're going to do. And I think it'll be beautiful. So let's see. Dear grievers, they said life is hard, but I never knew it would be this hard. No one really sat me down and prepared me for the true reality of life and all that it comes with. If just the everyday hustle and bustle of our lives wasn't enough, the grief is an added bonus that, frankly, I could do without. When I speak of grief in terms of the loss of loved ones, I'm speaking of the hardest life experience to date. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but something tells me I'm not. Something tells me that you are nodding your head in agreement. I often think about the many missed opportunities people had to explain grief to me, and they didn't. And while I used to be annoyed by that, I now feel like it wouldn't have mattered because I don't believe anything could have truly prepared me, and I mean nothing. I realized this during the process of losing my grandmother, after losing a close friend, and then losing my father 3 years after that loss. They all had one thing in common: deep, deep pain. What I mean is, after the first loss, I thought I knew what to expect. But boy, was I wrong. To be honest, it felt like it got harder. It got heavier because I did know what to expect. Now that I had experienced great loss, complicated grief, the knowing was the culprit of the fear. So in reality, it didn't really matter if I knew or if I didn't. I will say, as you might be aware, it's not something that you get used to. It's not something I'm numb to. One might think you learn the ropes of the game. Nah, not so much. No two deaths are the same. Death is a part of life. You know what? That was so easy to write that, but it's so hard to accept. Have you ever found yourself struggling between knowing this and hating this? I mean, I'm well aware that one day we will all die. But the fact that we don't all die together, to me, is the hard part. The process of being able to still live while someone that you've done life with for as long as you can remember has died seems unreal and, to me, unfair. One of the hardest parts for me, and maybe for you too, is remembering the joy of their lives without the pain of their death. Those last moments seem to haunt me. How some of you might not have even had last moments. Maybe you weren't even able to say goodbye. Now that stings. I find myself thinking about the good times, and then boom, a painful memory follows. Or just the reality of them not being alive sets in. And that's enough to take your breath away in itself. So here we are, somewhere between maintaining and drowning in grief. What can we do? Well, we can be patient with ourselves first and foremost. We also need to allow ourselves the time and space to mourn. I'm talking about pushing well beneath and beyond the I'm fine, I'm okay. We need to allow the ugly cry to come out. Maybe yell, kick, scream. For God's sakes, you watch someone you love lie in a casket. What do you expect from yourself? We also need to take off the expectations and how we think we should feel and just feel. Do you know how hard it is to let yourself just feel and sit with your emotions? That can be very unnerving. I mean, most of us wear a mask so often that we do not know how to connect with and express our emotions. I know it can be scary, but it's needed. There is so much power in tears. I believe it's so underrated. I don't think we do vulnerability well as a society. I mean, when someone starts to cry, we naturally say, "Oh, don't cry. It'll be okay." But people do need to cry. And right now, it might not be okay. Because how we all define okay is different. When I'm in that place of loss and grief, my okay would equal normal. And that's just not realistic. It will never be normal again. This is why I believe it's so hard to accept when people say that it will be okay, because our hearts know what our minds can't process, which is why we experience such a range of emotions. Creating new normals are tough, but they are possible. It takes time. You have to be in a space to move through grief. Moving through doesn't mean moving on and forgetting about your loved one. It's about learning how to bring them with you, but only when you are ready, in due time. In my garage, I currently have a plethora of my dad and my grandmother's things. A lot of it I could have maybe let go, but isn't this a part of loss that's so very hard and troubling? Getting rid of their belongings. So while I don't see all of it every day, I chose a few things that remind me of them, and they are dispersed around my house. So they are with me, but it's not too much where it can keep me stuck. I want you to know that everyone's grief journey will be different. I want you to lean into that aspect and embrace the uniqueness. Make it yours. Yes, it's yours. Don't do it any other way. The days that are long and hard are making you stronger. They are challenging you to grow. The stretch is uncomfortable and the discomfort is painful, but I believe you have within you what is needed to survive. Grief and I will do this dance forever, but damn it, I'm the lead. Remember, you are in control of your thoughts, and your thoughts dictate your behaviors. So lead yourself through positivity and hope. Some of you have been enduring for years, and some the wound is fresh. But for all of us, the pain is worth being acknowledged. And so, I salute you, King. I salute you, Queen, for still fighting. Don't let grief have the last word. As always, yours truly, J.Nicole, the Grief Bully. Guys, I do hope that the words that I just expressed on paper, actual paper, line paper with a pen, I felt the need to write that to you. I wanted some words to just go straight with no distraction, right into your ear, right into your heart, right into your mind, and hopefully you can feel a sense of community and connectedness. Hopefully you don't feel by yourself anymore, and that you know that someone else feels you, understands, and empathizes with you. And so, what I would like to do, say a little prayer for you, if you will receive it. Dear God, I just want to thank you for another day. Thank you for another opportunity. Thank you for each and every person under the sound of my voice. Thank you for every person that's listening, that's inviting other people to listen. Thank you for giving me the strength and the ability to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to share my testimony. Because I know that it is through seeing my life as an example that will actually, hopefully, help them. God, I ask that you be with them in the times that no one else can be. I ask that you meet them in the midnight hour. I pray that you will help them feel and see that joy can come in the morning if they allow it to. I'm asking for extraordinary strength right now, because when this grief journey is presented to you, you need extraordinary strength. You need extreme faith. and you need someone to pray and intervene on your behalf. And so may I be that person to stand in the gap today for every individual that's grieving a loss of a loved one right now, that's going through one of the most difficult times, that anxiety is trying to take over, depression is smothering them. God, I speak life over them. I'm speaking encouragement into them and power, God. I'm speaking worth. I ask that you allow them to know how worthy they are and how much the fight is difficult, but there is nothing that you and them cannot do. God, you said that the weapon would form, but it would not prosper. So I'm asking to cover them while that weapon is forming, God, and allow them to steadfast know that they will prosper, that this too shall pass. I ask you to continue to have your way in each and every person's life. I'm praying with the most sincere parts of my heart, God, for a peace that will surpass all understanding, that we will learn to continue to lean not into our own understanding, but to rely on you, God, and we know that you will direct our path. So in these dark moments, may your light and your love be a beacon of light. May every broken heart be mended, where every broken relationship be fixed, where forgiveness be extended, where forgiveness is needed, God, and where forgiveness be received, where it is needed to be received, God. May you continue to keep their hearts open, although they are jaded. Keep them on the right path, God. Keep them loving and connecting with their family and growing, God, and knowing that this is a part of life, but we need you to do this part of life with us. So I ask each and every person under the sound of my voice, receive your love, and may you continue to be with them. And thank you for being first in my life. And thank you for continuing to cover me and everything that has to do with the grief bully as we continue to help our folks and our people grieve and grow. Guys, I almost told God love and light, but amen. Listen, it's been another episode. I just want to, before we head out of here, say our inspirational boost for this week. It goes right into what we've been talking about. Healing isn't about overcoming the pain. It's living despite it. I want to say in love and memory to every single person out there that has been losing their lives to the coronavirus and everything associated with that. We definitely want to send our love out to all of those families and rest in peace to all of those people. And may we continue as a community to stick together as we go through this time. Guys, this has been episode 34. I hope that you did enjoy it. I hope that it blessed your life. It definitely blessed mine. I'm thankful to have each and every one of you listening. Follow me on Instagram at I_am_J.Nicole. Till next time, as always, you already know, love and light. Peace.